Rick Derringer, singer of Hang On Sloopy, writer of rock and roll Hoochie Koo and Real American Wrestling Theme, dies at 77. Rick Derringer, whose six-decade career spanned teen stardom as lead singer of the 60s smash Hang On Sloopy, a 70s solo hit with rock and roll Hoochie Koo, session work with artists from Steely Dan to Barbra Streisand, and extensive work as a writer and producer of wrestling themes like Hulk Hogan's seemingly ageless Real American, has died, according to an announcement from his caretaker, Tony Wilson, in Guitar Player magazine. Wilson's post states that Derringer died Monday evening in Ormond Beach, Florida. No cause of death was announced, although Derringer had been in ill health in recent months. He was 77. A fiery and remarkably versatile guitarist, a strong singer, and a high-profile presence on New York's rock scene of the 70s and 80s. Derringer also produced the Edgar Winter Group's 1972 smash single Frankenstein and served as the band guitarist for several years. Worked closely with Winter's brother Johnny as a guitarist and producer, produced Weird Al Yankovic's first album, and even gave Patti Smith her first major credit on the song Jump from Derringer's 1973 debut solo album, All American Boy. His eponymous band released several albums and toured heavily throughout the mid and late 70s. The band's final major incarnation featured Neil Giraldo, who immediately afterwards scored major success as Pat Benatar's co-writer and guitarist and husband to this day. Derringer and his first wife, Liz, were also members of Andy Warhol's extended circle and frequently appeared in rock magazines of the era. In his later years, he worked extensively with singer Cyndi Lauper and wrote and produced many popular theme songs for wrestlers, including Hulk Hogan's Real American, which has the curious legacy of being used as a theme song by Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Donald Trump. Born Richard Dean Derringer in Ohio in 1947, the young Derringer received a guitar for his 9th birthday and began playing local gigs with his uncle, a country musician, before he was in high school. As a teen, he formed a band called the McCoys with his brother Randy. In the summer of 1965, the songwriting production team, the Strangeloves, comprised of Richard Goddard, Jerry Goldstein, and Bob Feldman, who'd scored a major hit with I Want Candy, hired the group as a backing band and soon after enlisted them to record a cover of the song My Girl Sloopy, originally released by the Vibrations the previous year. With the title altered to Hang On Sloopy, the song reached No. 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 that summer, replacing Barry McGuire's grim Eve of Destruction. Around the time Derringer, still working under his born name, turned 18. The hit has become a kind of theme song for Derringer's home state and, in a foretelling of his later years making music for professional sports, has been a staple of Ohio State football game for decades. The McCoys, who opened for the Rolling Stones on their first major North American tour, had minor follow-up hits, but did not repeat that success, and began working with blues guitarist Johnny Winter in the late 1960s and later his brother Edgar, touring with both and playing on and producing their albums. The partnership with Edgar produced a massive single with 1972's Frankenstein, an instrumental the band had been playing around with for years. The title came from the look of the master tape, which had so many segments spliced together that the musicians said it resembled the horror movie character Stitches. The song, produced by Derringer, topped the Billboard Hot 100 in May of 1973. He went on to replace Ronnie Montrose in the band shortly after and remained the Edgar Winter Group's guitarist and producer for the next 3 years. Also in 1973, Derringer enjoyed his first solo hit with rock and roll Hoochie Koo, originally recorded by Johnny Winter. The song has had such a long life that it was used in the 4th season of Stranger Things. After leaving Edgar Winter's band, Derringer launched his eponymous group in 1976, which toured extensively throughout the decade and released several albums. Their concerts were heavy on guitar, dueling, and showmanship, and climaxed with Derringer and his second guitarist dramatically throwing their guitars to each other from opposite sides of the stage. Throughout the 1970s and 80s, Derringer also worked extensively as a session musician, playing on albums by Steely Dan, including Countdown to Ecstasy, Katy Lied, and Gaucho, Todd Rundgren, Alice Cooper, Kiss, and even Barbra Streisand. In the early 1980s, he soloed on 2 massive singles written by Meat Loaf mastermind Jim Steinman, Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart, and Air Supply's Making Love Out of Nothing at All. In the mid-1980s, he began working with singer Cyndi Lauper, touring her band and playing on 3 of her albums, including the hit True Colors. But perhaps more significant was the fact that it led to his entree into the world of professional wrestling. In 1985, he produced the World Wrestling Federation's The Wrestling Album, which consisted mostly of pro wrestlers' theme songs, many of which he co-wrote. Most notable among these was Hulk Hogan's theme song, Real American, which was used by President Barack Obama at the 2011 White House Correspondents' Dinner when unveiling his birth certificate, as a campaign song by Hillary Clinton and, inevitably, frequently by President Donald Trump. In his later years, he toured with Ringo Starr's All-Star Band, as well as Peter Frampton, Carmine Appice, and others, aligned with conservative causes and released several Christian-themed albums with his wife, Jinda.